Hi everyone, I'm Nattida.
And my name is CHONG.
And we are so excited to be here at this Business for Home Growth Conference. Thank you so much to Ted and Denny for offering this platform for all of us to be able to grow, to be able to have personal development. So give them a huge of applause. For those of you who don't know, myself and Chad, we've actually been in the industry for now 18 years full-time and 21 years full-time.
Nattida, do you start when you were 2?
Yes, I'm 20 years old. But yes, we've been doing this for 18 and 21 years full-time. Crazy.
You know what? Actually, I met Nattida's mom and dad, who are superstars in this industry, before I actually met her. And Nattida actually met my parents before she met me. Our parents have been in this industry for a very long time, very successful. We are second generation network marketers. You know what? My mom was probably doing a presentation when I was in a belt.
For myself and Chad, we always have the saying of, you got me before hello. I don't have a rags to riches story. I actually thought I had no story. So I don't have a rags to riches story. I don't have long working hours. I remember since the age of 5, I was watching my parents excel in the industry. So I remember they were on stage, training like hundreds of people at that time. And I was at the back of the room at the age of 5, and I was thinking, I want to do that one day. And because I grew up in that environment, I knew no other way. And so I thought that I actually had no inspiring story. Like there wasn't a story that most of you guys will hear on a platform like this, like from this before to now this after. I thought my story wouldn't inspire until recently, until I realized that because of my story is the reason why you need to be doing this industry. Because my parents made a decision over 30 plus years to be part of this industry, the word job was never in my vocabulary. I always felt like I could do more. I'm worth more. And I want you guys to be able to say, yes, I am here. I made that decision. And because of the decision that every single one of you have made, you are holding the key to your next generation, the second, third, fourth, fifth generation. So applaud yourself for being able to say yes to your dreams, to say yes to this industry, to say yes to yourself. And I know many of you, I know for myself and Chad, whenever we attend different conferences, different events, different trainings online, we're always looking for, what's that one secret? I'm sure you guys will say, Chad and Nattida, share with me one of your secrets. How did you get to number 4 in the income list in the world? How? What did you do? Please share with me. And I will tell you this, there's not really a secret sauce. You're like, oh man, there's no real secret sauce. But what I will tell you is that to have success, to change the trajectory of your life long term, to not live by default, but live by design, to say, you know what? I am choosing how to design my life. I want to be the one to say, this is how I deserve to live. To be able to do that, just 3 words. How many words?
3.
3 words. And those 3 words are raise your standards. Raise your standards. That's all you have to do. We don't get what we want. We get what we have to have. Well, you have to have. I remember, like I said, 18 years full-time, 21 full years full-time, right? So we've seen it all. And I remember when we were doing a training, and there's a ton of people. And I remember asking people, both of us are asking people, okay, for those of you who work out 5 days a week, please stand up. So anyways, there's people in the crowd that stood up, and you can tell there's not even a question. You could tell who worked out 5 times a week. It was obvious. And it's not because they had more time than all of us. It's not because of that at all. We all have 24 hours a day. All of us have the same amount of time. But what? It was their standards. It was their have to have. It was their have to have, right? We don't get what we tolerate. We get what we tolerate. When you're no longer willing to tolerate something, that's when your life changes. When you say, I'm not willing to tolerate this anymore. I'm not going to have my boss tell me when I can take a vacation. I'm not willing to tolerate living in this small apartment with 9 of my family members. I'm not willing to tolerate to live paycheck by paycheck, worried about what food I can give to my kids. I'm not willing to tolerate to say no to my daughter who wants to go to ballet and I can't afford that for her. I'm not willing to tolerate another Christmas to go by when I can't take my kids on the vacations that they deserve. When you're willing to say, I'm not willing to tolerate this anymore, that's when things change. Wants don't get met consistently. They never do. You know what does? Standards do. So if you were to ask me, what is a standard? What are standards, Nattida? I will say standards. You know what? All of us, every single one of us, has a list of shoulds. I should make more calls. I should go to work earlier. I should read more books. I should connect with my upline. I should do personal development. I should work out more. I should. And when you don't do your shoulds, when you don't meet your shoulds, you get mad at yourself. You should all over yourself. Here's the thing. What changes is when their should becomes a must. When the thing they say should happen, must happen. That's when things shift. That's when you have transformation in your life. When you say, Nattida, you know what, Mom, Dad, or mine, or whoever, this is a must. I must hit this rank. I must. This is a standard that must happen, not should. Not like your recent goal, your resolution, New Year's resolution. I'm going to work out every day. After 15 days, you don't, because why? It's not a must. Or I'm going to reach this rank. But if you're going there, but you're not going all out, it's because it wasn't a must. Change that to a must. Why? Because you don't get your goals consistently. They don't get met consistently. You get your standards. You get your musts, never your shoulds.
Ladies and gentlemen out there, leaders out there, you know what Nattida said is so true, right? About raising your standards. And it starts with your mindset, start with your belief, knowing that you want to get there. What I'm going to do right now, give you some tips to help your supporting team around you, help you get there.
Yes.
You know what? We talk about your warm market being your war market, right? We talk about, trust me, I know what that feels like. You guys know what that feels like. Some of you out there might have a spouse, might have a parent, might have a brother, a sister. Friends
yeah.
That is not supporting you. Well, you know what? It's their perspective, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I want to talk about how your behavior is dictated by your benefit, right? Your behavior is dictated by the benefit. Now, all you are pumped up right now. All you're ready to rock and roll because you're meeting all these successful people in this industry. All the social evidence that what you're doing right now works. So I want you to train your mind and maybe train the minds of people around you, your supporting crew, to help you win. I'll give an example with our kids. If you guys have kids out there, hey, we have 3 kids, believe it or not, 3 kids together.
5, 8, and turning 10. 5, 8, 10.
3 kids.
Great.
And your kids might say to you, Mom, Dad, are you going to another meeting again? Are you going to take me to soccer practice?
Are you going to finally spend time with me?
That hurts, right? And you say, I'm doing all this for you. I'm doing all this so you can have a better life than the life that I had growing up. Right, parents? You understand that? So this is something that we have done that can help you with your kids. We call it the talk with the people that you love. Could be your spouse, right? we bring the kids in and say, hey kids, mommy and daddy over the next 90 days, we got a big goal ahead of us. We got a big target ahead of us. Maybe you're going to hit a rank in your company, a prize, something in your company. You go, hey kids, we're going to do this in the next 90 days so that we can hit a prize or hit a rank. Now kids, tell us, we want you to support us, and what do you want? One kid may say, hey, if you guys hit the target, can I go to Disneyland? Yes, you can go to Disneyland. Another kid could be like, hey, if you guys hit the target, can you take us to the NBA game to watch LA Lakers win another championship?
Or buy this toy?
Or buy this toy? Or my daughter could be like, hey, can mommy and I go for a mommy and daughter day flying somewhere, right? Give them that prize, because when you give them that prize, that benefit, it helps with the behavior during this process or during this 90 days. We've done this multiple times. And guess what? The kids now say to us like, hey dad, aren't you supposed to be on Zoom? I'm waiting for my Laker game. Or hey mom, aren't you supposed to be calling someone? We will have to go on our mommy and daughter day. So the behavior is dictated by the benefit. Now everyone out there, let me give you another example. How many of you out there does not like your boss? How many out there? Be honest, does not like your boss. And during a job interview, how was your behavior? During your job interview, how was your behavior? Why? Because you have to be on your best behavior, because the benefit is you're going to get a job, you're going to get paid. You know, sometimes we go out on weekends and we have a little bit too much fun and we sleep really late on Sunday night. But what do Monday morning? You wake up to that alarm that you don't want to hear. You get ready for work that you don't want to go to maybe, and you see the person that you don't want to see, your boss maybe. Why? Because of the benefit that you get. Right? So let's bring that into this business. Bring that into this business. What are the benefits that you want? And it's your behavior helping you get there. I'll give another example. And this may guys might understand it. Ladies, I don't know what you do, but I'll give you from a guy perspective. I'll tell you about the benefit and behavior. I remember dating this young, beautiful lady in the beginning. I was on the best behavior, right, Nattida?
Was.
No, she goes, was. But I'll be like, hey, we could be walking on the beach, and she'll be like, hey, honey, I'm a little bit cold. Man, this jacket was out in an instant over her to keep her warm. Now, it's still the same. I'm just saying. It's still the same, right, Nattida?
Sure. Just like right before this recording, I say I'm freezing. He's like, oh.
But, hey, maybe now you could be, married, 3 kids a little bit later, but you're walking on the beach, and she goes, what do you say?
I'm cold. I'm freezing.
And I go, I told you to get your jacket from the car.
You mad? You're guilty.
But this is just a prime example about the behavior for the benefit, right? So how can this help you? I want you to change the perspective of what you see in front of you. Guys out there, you know what? Failure is part of winning. Failure is part of winning. And I want you to have the right perspective. I've seen it so many times. Choose your mindset. Choose the right perspective. Your perspective can put you in prison or can power you. Look, in every company, there are people winning and there's people losing. In every company. There's people coming in, there's people going out. That's part of the business. Now, what is your perspective? Are you focusing on the people going out? Guess what? You're going out. Are you focused on the people hitting the next rank? Guess what? You get to go to the next rank. So you have to control your perspective to help you win, help empower you so that you can focus on the right behavior to get your benefits.
That I just want to end with this, everyone. You tell people what you deserve by what you're willing to accept. If you're like, you know what, at this small little rank, that's all I'm going to be at, and I'm going to cruise along and just complain. That person probably got lucky, or this person probably got there because of, I don't know what, and yet you're not willing to do anything else. You're telling people what you deserve because that's what you're accepting. If you're saying, if you live in the small part and you're willing to accept that, you are telling people what you deserve. You're telling your subconscious mind what you deserve. And that's why today we're telling you, raise your standards, change your perspective. For myself and like I said, we've been doing this game, this business, this industry, this amazing, amazing career for the last 18 to 21 years full time. So we have failed. Like maybe some of you, most of you haven't failed before. And now we're like, bring it on, failure. Why? Because we have learned through personal development, like Chet said, let that action, let that consequence create the correct perspective for you. Either it imprisons you and makes you feel like a failure, or you say, yes, I just found one way how not to do something. That just reminded me, Thomas Edison. They asked him point blank, hey, Thomas, Mr. Edison, how did it feel to fail 10,000 times? He's like, I didn't fail 10,000 times. I found 10,000 ways that it did not work. That's it. So it's just about changing your perspective. Let it be something that empowers you. Step up. Be able to say, this is a moment in my life today that I'm standing up for myself. And I'm standing up for my family. And I'm standing up for my husband, my loved ones, my friends, myself. To say, this is no longer happening in my life anymore, period. That I deserve more, that I deserve change, I deserve transformation, and enough is enough. Impossible is not a fact. When you're like, oh, this top rank in my company, it's impossible. No, it is not impossible. Impossible. The word impossible is not a fact. It is purely an opinion. It is only impossible until someone does it first. Then you realize, that wasn't impossible at all. That can't happen. Even people who are like, that's scientifically impossible. How many times on Earth has something scientifically impossible been proven wrong?
Yeah. Then
after that, there's all this science to back it up to show how it can happen. I'm inviting all of you. We are inviting every single one of you today to not only raise your standards, but to step out of your comfort zone. Too many people stay within their comfort zone, which leads to an uncomfortable life, rather than stepping out of their comfort zone in order to lead a comfortable life.
Wow.
Which one would you guys rather have? That's why we're here to say, use this time. Be on purpose. Have a purpose-driven life. Be on purpose. When you're listening to all these powerful leaders who are speaking here, trainers who are speaking here, are you just listening and just writing random notes, or not listening and just eating food? Or are you really focused and saying, you know what, I am going to listen and I'm going to take action? Because just knowing all of this, just feeling it in your heart, in your mind, but without action, it's not going to lead you anywhere. Nowhere. Just because in your head, you're like, in my head, I'm raising my standards in my head, but you're not taking actions for that. Why? We don't, the way myself and Chad lead, we like to lead unapologetically. We will tell you how it is. To say, dude, step up, take action. You say you want this, but your actions are not in alignment. Have alignment with your actions along with your standards, and you will witness and see everything change. When we talk about action, like a glass of water, half full, half empty. As people are arguing, if it's half empty or half full, we already sold the glass. That's the key. Sell the glass. Stop arguing. Stop trying to overthink things. The only way I remember, when people say, oh gosh, all these leaders, they were born leaders. They're so lucky. Do you ever see, headlines where you're saying, this person just gave birth to a lawyer. This person just gave birth to a doctor. This person just gave birth to the top #1 income earner in the world. No, they just gave birth to a little baby or a little girl. It was through life, through training, through personal development that they grew to be that person that they are today. When we first started out, I remember, even though we're second generation networkers, we started out so insecure. I remember like we got rejected nonstop. We drove how many hours? Like 4 hours to a training that someone said there was going to be 300 people there. We got our banners, we got our like drinks.
We bought our products from friends because we thought we would sell out.
Yes, and we got there, 0 show. Actually, you know what? One person, and that one person was the one person who had the keys to the office to open it up. And we said, you know what? We'll just train you. He didn't sign up. But guys, rejection. I felt like quitting so many times. I felt like saying, you know what? They say apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You know, Nat and Chidi, who are my parents, you know, like, yes, they're legends, but maybe it's not in my blood. You know, and I felt like a massive failure. But every single time we would, like, I remember we would punch each other like this while we're driving and saying, you know what? Next. SW, next. Some will, some won't. So what? Next. Perspective or prison? We're saying, thank you. I just learned something. You know what? Failing gives you confidence to stand up and say, this is how I'm going to close. I used to hate closing, but now I'm obsessed with it because I know the lives we will change through this close. So I'm inviting every single one of you to change your standards, raise your standards, and take action towards it. And do that activity. Yes, tell the world, but do the activity. You know, it's what you do in private that you will be awarded for in public. So again, impossible is only an opinion. Go out and show the world what you can do. My name is Nattida.
My name is Chad.
And we love you guys.
Love you guys.
Welcoming you guys to raise your standards.